Woman is dead after being hit by a car on I-29 south of Fargo over the weekend. The North Dakota Highway Patrol says it happened around 5:45 yesterday morning near Oxbow. Troopers say a driver saw the woman standing in the left driving lane, hit the brakes and swerved, but ended up hitting her.
The victim was thrown across the right lane and was killed. She's not being charged in the case. Part of I-29 was shut down for 3 hours as troopers investigated. A North Dakota man is being treated for injuries after being hit by an SUV on New Year's Eve night. State troopers say 38-year-old Nathaniel Nolden of Northwood was standing outside his vehicle that had slid into a ditch on Highway 15 near Northwood. A pickup driver was facing the wrong way on the highway, trying to pull Nolden's car out of the ditch. That's when an SUV driver came along. That
driver swerved but hit the pickup and then the pedestrian. No word on the victim's condition. The police report indicates charges are now being investigated against Nolden and the driver of that pickup. Also on your fast track this morning, investigators looking for the cause of a fire that destroyed a home in Emerado, North Dakota. Fire crews got that call just before 11 Saturday night and arrived to find the place engulfed. People inside at the time got out safely, but neighboring mobile homes were evacuated as a precaution. One firefighter was injured but returned to duty. The Otter Tail County Sheriff's Office issuing a safety warning for anglers looking to go out on Rush Lake. Authorities say a mile-long crack in the ice was found on the north side of the lake. Open water in that area has been blocked off with cones and marking posts. The Sheriff's Office is asking those planning on venturing out onto the ice to use caution, and a reminder they say ice is never 100% safe. Time now for a look at our Fast Track Storm Team forecast with Lisa Green. Good morning.
Good morning. Today we are starting off with a little bit of fog out there and also some new warnings and alerts that are going to be in effect for Tuesday for that winter storm we've been tracking for a while here. Now it looks like the bulk of that storm hitting places south of us, places like Minneapolis, back over to Sioux Falls and other parts of the plains. And that's where we've got that winter storm warning in red. But there are a couple of counties that are included in a winter weather advisory. This is for 6 a.m. Tuesday tomorrow through 6 p.m. tomorrow, and this includes Traverse County in Minnesota and also Roberts County in northeastern South Dakota for the potential for a few inches of snow on that northern edge of this system. And even if you're not in the advisory area, if you're in that area in Fargo and points south and east, that's where we may still see some snow with this. Of course, not as heavy as what they'll be seeing in those areas under a winter storm warning. You can see there's still some snow going on in South Dakota at this point, down into parts of Nebraska as well. Here in the valley, we're pretty quiet. We're just looking at some fog and some clouds passing by here, and we'll be more on that mostly cloudy side on that northern fringe of this storm system that's developing today, especially in the southern end of the valley. Fargo's at 8 degrees, 7 in Grand Forks. We've got a few places in the teens, Thief River Falls, and places in the east like Bemidji at 17 degrees and 16 degrees in Detroit Lakes. And then Devil's Lake, where we've been clear, we're below zero, 4 below. So still a morning to bundle up, especially in those areas where we have a little bit of wind. Our wind chill feels closer to zero. By this afternoon, a high of about 18 in Fargo. The wind shouldn't be too strong. And again, Southern Valley more likely to have the cloud cover. If you're in the Northern Valley, you may get a little more sunshine. And again, that snow chance continues for those of us in the south for Tuesday. Just not heavy snow. And our 7-day planner looking nice and quiet. Finally, we get to breathe easier here, maybe do some cleaning up still with all that snow we got in December. We're starting off January on a relatively quiet note.
Yeah, we still got to put that salt out there and pick away at some of the ice that we've had for the last 2 weeks now.
Yeah, it's really been piling up and compacting all that snow. It's going to be hard to chip away at, I think, especially because temperatures won't necessarily be in our favor. We'll be in the teens. We'd like to see those numbers more close to that 30-degree mark to work away at some of that snow and ice.
Okay, thank you, Lisa.
We'll take what we can get.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Sacramento County, California, under a state of emergency now after heavy rain and a levee breach caused widespread flooding. Authorities say they've rescued dozens of people whose cars got stuck in high water. You see there on your screen.
Yeah, late Saturday night, the National Weather Service issued a flash flood warning for people living along the river, urging them to get to higher ground immediately for fear that a levee might fail. The county confirmed there was a double levee breach. Police are investigating whether a machete attack on 3 officers near Times Square Saturday night was inspired by radical Islamic extremism. 2 hours before the ball dropped in Times Square on New Year's Eve, police say a 19-year-old man swung a machete at 3 officers just outside of a high security zone. 2 officers were hit in the head before an officer shot the man in the shoulder.
One officer has a skull fracture, the other has a bad cut, but both are expected to recover, as is the suspect. Authorities are investigating whether that suspect had posted jihadist writings online and traveled to New York to attack police specifically. One person was killed and 9 others injured when gunfire erupted in downtown Mobile, Alabama during New Year's Eve festivities. Hundreds of revelers had gathered to watch fireworks and listen to a concert. That's when bullets started flying.
Officials say the deceased male was 24 years old, and those injured in the gunfire ranged in age from 17 to 57 with severe to non-life-threatening injuries. Authorities believe the suspects may be linked to a gang. It's Inauguration Day for some top Minnesota officials. Governor Tim Walz, Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, Attorney General Keith Ellison, Secretary of State Steve Simon, and State Auditor Julie Blaha will be sworn in this morning at 11 o'clock in St. Paul. That will be followed by an open house this afternoon, although that event is not open to the public. The 2023 Minnesota legislature starts tomorrow.
North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum gives his State of the State address tomorrow before a joint session of the State House and Senate, which convenes tomorrow. Burgum's address starts at 1 p.m. and will be live streamed at governor.nd.gov. Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI's remains are resting at the Mater Ecclesiae Monastery in the Vatican today before he lies in state on Monday. Benedict died Saturday at the age of 95.
The Vatican said his remains will be on display in St. Peter's Basilica starting on Monday, with his funeral being held on Thursday, January 5th. That will be in St. Peter's Square. Millions of people in the U.S. are starting the new year with a pay raise. Hourly minimum wage in 23 states went up yesterday as part of a previously scheduled effort to reach $15 an hour or to account for cost of living changes.
The increases will affect nearly 8.5 million workers. The federal minimum wage of $7.25 per hour hasn't changed since 2009. Nearly 30 cities and counties across the U.S. are also expected to increase their minimum wage as well. The city of Moorhead starts Christmas tree pickup tomorrow. It'll happen on your regular garbage day during the week.
Make sure to put your tree 3 to 5 feet from your garbage cart and remove any plastic bags, lights, wood and metal stands. That's because those trees will get chipped. The city asks that you also do not put the trees on top of any snowbanks. A brisk New Year's Day wasn't enough to keep people from taking the traditional polar plunge. It's one of Boston's oldest traditions, with hundreds of people taking a refreshing dip, you could call it, to welcome in the new year.
Yeah, I'm sure you can imagine what that looks like. This year's plunge wasn't as cold as in years past. The temperature was hovering around the 50s, but plungers say it was still pretty cold. The group known as the L Street Brownies, the oldest polar bear club in America, began in 1904. People rushed in the water wearing everything from traditional bathing suits to tutus and even Viking helmets. The mighty Mississippi River was the site of the 46th annual Ski Freeze, a polar plunge of sorts. Dozens of people donned their water skis for the New Year's Day event, which raises money for the Dream Factory of Memphis and, of course, for the rare opportunity to ski the Mississippi.
Yeah, although temperatures were a bit warmer than in previous years, many of the skiers said the chilly 40-degree water took their breath away. Organizers say the Ski Freeze brings in around $25,000 each year and helps make the dreams come true for chronically sick children. Some good news here. 2 families welcomed the first babies of 2023 at the hospitals in Fargo. Santiago de la Rosa was born 11 minutes after midnight at Sanford, taking the top spot in Fargo, while Liana Star Gonzalez Mendez was born before 3 in the morning at Essentia Health. Everyone is reported to be doing well.
Well, congratulations and Happy New Year.
The first babies born in Fargo of the new year. Great
It's
stuff
always
there.
a rush. It's a competition.
Yes, it really is.
It's an
New Year's
unspoken,
baby.
unspoken competition.
I worked at a hospital for a little while, and it actually is. Some doctors will be like, oh, we're having the first one.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's fun.
Famous for a day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Today Show and CBS Mornings are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on. We're live up to the news and weather coming up right here on the Fargo CW.
Otherwise, have a happy Monday, the first of 2023.